You know it's gonna be a good day when this baby comes out. Good morning, everybody. We are going this morning to cut down one of our big white pines in the bush to saw for board and batten to finish off the sugar shack. And last weekend we got the steel on, which was really exciting. And so today we're going to cut the tree down, hopefully get to some milling so that we can nail the battens on, the board and batten on tomorrow. So I've done a couple laps in the bush already this morning, clearing trails with the little citation and my little sled. And so I pre-scouted a couple white pines because I wanted to pick ones that had poor form, but that we're going to be able to get enough boards out of. So Brian and I are going to take the tractor in. He's just hooking up the winch right now. Cut one down and pull one out. So a little bit of logging today, which is awesome. It's a little windy, no big deal though. It's actually quite beautiful. It's warm. It's like -2. So yeah, we're in good shape. I'm looking forward to today. It's going to be fun. We haven't done a lot of work in the bush together in about a year, so it's always a good time. This is the first time Clementine is going to work in the bush. That's Clementine. And so it'll be interesting to see how this tractor fares compared to the 1370, which was a beast. The only downside to working with the cab tractor in the bush is breaking the windows. So we're gonna have to be extra careful just to make sure we have good clearance, and maybe we'll have to do some trimming, but it's gonna be fun. Okay, while Brian turns around, I'm going to show you the tree that I picked to come out and why I picked it. So we do maple syrup, and so this bush closest to the house has a lot of young sugar maple in it, which is what you need to do maple syrup. But there are some big white pine, which I love, and some with really straight stems, which are primo. So those we're going to leave. But some trees, like this one, so this is the one we're taking, have over time, at one point or another, I don't know if you can see it way up there, but had a double leader. So its form isn't fantastic, and it's big enough that we're going to be able to get a lot of boards out of it, which is great. Because at some point we want to build a little cabin in the woods as well. So it's not like the wood is going to go to waste. We will use all of it. There's going to be more than we need for this project. But this is the tree that we've picked to come out. It's never easy for me to cut down any white pine because I really, really love them. But it's definitely cheaper than buying wood at this point, and that's one of the reasons why we bought this place, was to be able to eventually harvest some of the trees, not a ton for sure, but for what we need. So here goes. We got to clean up, we got to cut down. There's a little dead white birch right here that's leaning that we have to cut down, and that's it. And then we'll fell the big beast. want to see how old it is. Oh yeah, over here. Looks like a heart. We had one casualty, sugar maple, but it was a bumper tree on our trail, so we knew it was probably going to get hit. So not too bad. Squeeze that big beast down there. Everybody else survived, which is great.
Just like a peel apart? Or
Yeah.
like
I thought it would have stayed warm in the tractor. It didn't. Oh, that's a fatter one.
Nope, maybe it's a fatter one.
That's a big stick, a smaller one. Get up. You're the logger. Come on. You're the logger. Remember? You're the logger. You know. Yeah.
Sit.
Sit down. Sit.
No more.
Oh, yeah, you think so. Sit. Not for her little tush. Good girl.
That didn't go good.
Did you see where I went? Watch out, you guys. Watch out. It's hard. You're gonna almost have to sand it. I need my glasses.
Around 100.
Yeah.
Got her a little more. I got 80 something at where it starts to go sappy there.
Tilly Billy, come on, good girl. So we are working away on getting the boards on the sugar shed. We ended up getting a lot of lumber just out of those 2 logs that we sawed. And then for the timber frame, I don't know if you can see it over there, but Brian cut, what is that, an 8x10? Yeah. An 8x10 beam. So we did get a ton of lumber, and we cut it long enough that we can get 2 boards out of each, 2 boards for the siding out of each board. So that's been working out really well. So we had to stop. Brian had to make caps for the corner, which he's putting on right now, and then we can put the boards back on. And today the tricky thing is to put the flashing around the window and then the boards around the window. So it's going to take a little bit of finicky work. But once we get that done, then it should be pretty smooth sailing all the way around the building, which is awesome because we're that much closer to having it closed in. So it's the first couple days of February. So sugar season is like right around the corner. It's so funny because we literally started this like what? Beginning of July? No, yeah, July.
Right on pace.
Yeah, right on pace. Just a few more days. Just a couple more days. But yesterday, the weather here when we got up in the morning, it was -30. Wind chill feels like way colder than that. And today it's -2 and it's 10 o'clock in the morning. So the weather has just been so strange. But anyways, I'm going to go get my belt and get going. In the other video, in the last part of the video, you would have seen me using a scraper on the boards. When they are milled, they get covered in a sawdust that once it dries, it becomes very sawdusty. So we've been removing that. Also, when we're putting the boards together, because these are cut green and nailed on, it's fine because it's board and batten, but they're going to dry, so they're going to create a gap. And so if you remove all that sawdust, then hopefully we can get the boards as close together as possible so that when we put the battens on, which are the little strips that cover the gap isn't as big, if that makes sense. I have to make a confession. While Brian is inside, and he hardly ever watches these videos, so he probably won't even hear this. But Brian has wanted to buy a sawmill ever since we lived in Niagara when we had our tree business. And I resisted it always because of the money and because we knew people who had a mill so could mill our wood for us. But honestly, it is one of the best purchases we have ever made. Now, that might just be because we've had a couple of projects that it's been super handy for, especially during COVID. But now it's like the sky's the limit as far as what we can build or what we want to build, especially me. So I have admitted it to Brian, but just not outright. I've kind of hinted, but I am going on record saying that it is one of the best investments we've ever made. I wish we had gotten one sooner because Brian really is awesome at operating the mill. And yeah, it would have saved us a lot of money and time over the years, especially because we got the mill that we got for a good deal. Yeah, so Tilly agrees. Bring it here. Don't bark, just come over here and bring it, and I'll throw it. But yeah, as I work away at this project, I am realizing that it was a very good, very, very good purchase. I don't say that often, and I know there's going to be a lot of you who are laughing your heads off at this because I'm usually the one that's very resistant to new purchases, but I'm pretty happy, and I know he is too. Literally yesterday, we couldn't be out here without being fully covered, and today, it's crazy. It's so weird. It's been a long time since we built the shop, so we had to really think about how to get the flashing over the window and how it's constructed, but we think we finally got it. These are the things that kind of take us some extra time. When we can't figure stuff out, we really have to think about it. So that was funny. That was funny, dude. Okay. Walk on. All right. Where's my hammer? What did I do with my hammer?
Gotta go this way.
You think we'd learn? We finally got her mostly closed in. All of the boards are on except for just around the man door, which we haven't installed yet.
In the peak.
Oh yeah, and the peaks. But we got her done and it feels really good. Pretty cool to be able to cut a tree, mill a tree, and slap it on the side of a building. Yeah, so next up is battens, some trim, the peaks, the man door, and we probably won't get all of that done before it's time to boil, but you never know. So Brian thinks, he's saying yes, maybe we will. So who knows? But I'm glad to have had one more warm day to be able to put the boards on here today. So anyways, stay tuned for the next adventure in Sugar Shed building. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.